My name is Angelina Roberts Hartsfield. Today, I will be doing my informative topic over living with an anxiety disorder. I decided to do this topic with everything that's been going on this year in 2020, from the classes of 2020 not being able to have a real graduation, to the quarantine from COVID-19, and even the racism that struck America. We all may have felt some type of worry or angst against the future. And I just wanted to do this presentation in order to help the people who feel this way to know that it's okay to have some kind of worry and that you're not alone. And there are ways that you can and things you can do to actually help yourself in this time of need. What is anxiety? Anxiety is a mental disorder characterized by the feeling of worry, anxiety, or fear that is strong enough to interfere with one's daily activities. Symptoms include stress that is out of proportion to the events, the inability to set aside worry, and restlessness. From the two pictures above and below, you see examples of anxiety and worry and what it really kind of symbolizes and how it makes one look and feel. Examples of an anxiety disorder can vary from panic attacks to OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder and PTSD or post traumatic stress disorder. The three pictures at the bottom each symbolize panic attacks, obsessive OCD, and PTSD. The first one symbolizes panic attacks, a sense of dread, choking, rapid heartbeat, wobbly legs. These are all symptoms of someone who is having a panic attack. The middle picture shows the warning signs of OCD: depression, compulsive behavior, intrusive thoughts, seeking reassurance, and becoming isolated. These are all warning signs that you or somebody you may know is coming down with OCD. And lastly but not least, there's a picture of two brothers. One is a soldier who just came home from war, and the other one has been just a brother who stayed in America. And he says, "Great to have you home, bro. I'm not a scratch on you." And as you can see from the picture, the soldier is having a grenade on his head, which kind of symbolizes him being a ticking time bomb. I want to take time to kind of talk about this picture because it brings up a big topic that just because you don't see somebody going through a mental illness physically doesn't mean that it isn't affecting that person or it shouldn't be taken seriously. A lot of people with PTSD go through a lot. With any kind of mental disorder, people go through a lot, and it takes a toll on that person. And so you should treat every mental disorder as it is an actual disease, or if it's something that's physically ailing them. Because at the end of the day, just because we don't see it doesn't mean that it isn't affecting anybody or it isn't hurting the person. What is it like having an anxiety disorder? For people, just like an ailment, it varies from person to person, and each testimony is differently. For me, having anxiety is like when I worry so much, like with doing this presentation. I had so much anxiety. I've recorded multiple times doing this, and I was just worried about how the professor would grade me on this and how I would actually do. I take my grades very seriously, and for me, grades is something that gives me very big anxiety. One time I had a whole breakdown in class because I got a B. Like, that's how hard I take my grades seriously. So for me, that's what anxiety is like. For other people, it may be different. It may be you worrying about getting a scholarship for college or a track accepting offer or something like that. Each person is different, but all in all, the essence of it, the feeling is the same. A feeling of confusion and chaos, which is what the bottom left-hand picture shows. The lady is holding her head. You see a cloud of confusion. The other side shows risk factors for SAD or social anxiety disorder, which is very common. Things from early traumatic events to parenting style and even an isolated upbringing. These things could all contribute to you having SAD or social anxiety disorder. In essence, having an anxiety increases your breathing and heart rate, and it causes concentrating blood flow to your brain, which is where you need it. So for many people, like any disorder again, it's different for each person. Each testimony varies, yet essentially the feeling is the same. How to deal with anxiety. These are three different ways that someone that you or somebody that you may know who has anxiety can deal with their anxiety disorder. The first one is therapy. These are three types of therapies that can be used: cognitive behavior therapy, meditation, and psychotherapy. The second one I want to really emphasize on because it's something that anyone, anywhere can do. And whether you have anxiety or not, or if you're a perfectly healthy person, these are good things you can do day to day to kind of help yourself improve your mental health and your physical health. Self-care, avoiding alcohol, reduce caffeine intake, physical exercise, even a healthy diet. These are things that everyone should do to help take care of their bodies, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And last but not least, medication. I want to emphasize that street drugs and self-medication is not something that I would recommend. All these medications are usually prescribed by your primary care physician or someone who is licensed to prescribe these medications. SSRIs, antidepressants, sedatives, these are all different types of medication that someone can take or be asked to be prescribed on in order to help deal with their anxiety. How to help anyone with anxiety. First aid. This slide is for the people who say if you do not have anxiety or you don't have an anxiety disorder, but you know someone who is and they have a moment, that these are things that you can do to actually help that person get through that and kind of help them out. Most anxiety attacks will result in the person hyperventilating. This is when somebody is taking in very deep breaths but really quickly. To help the situation, you can first start by reassuring the person. Do not assume that you automatically know what's wrong with the person or what caused this person to feel this way. Just the best thing you can do is just to try to help them calm down, to get their calming, and just to reassure them that everything is going to be okay. The second thing you can do is to help get their breathing rate down. Do this by helping them breathe in slowly. Inhale through the nose, holding for several seconds, and then exhaling slowly. Do not breathe through a paper bag. Oh, we see this in movies and sometimes think it's a good idea. It's actually highly not recommended. Extra information. These are statistics that I saw when I was researching that I thought would actually be great to talk about because it shows that a lot of people actually do have an anxiety disorder. Anxiety actually affects over 40 million adults in the United States, ages 18 and up, or 18.1% of the population every year. And then though so many people go through anxiety disorder, only 10% with anxiety actually receives the help that they need. 30% has anxiety of unwell issues. And then the other 30 do not have anxiety or doesn't get help for it because they don't have it. But it mostly affects ages 18 and older, though it can start from any age, to be honest. Anxiety disorders are highly treatable, yet only 36.9% of those suffering receive treatment. People with anxiety disorders are 3 to 5 times more likely to go to the doctor and 6 times more likely to be hospitalized for psychiatric disorders than those who do not suffer from anxiety disorders. Anxiety disorders develop from a complex set of risk factors, including genetics, brain chemistry, personality, and life events. So it can, like I said, each disorder affects people differently, and no two people are the same. It could be in your genetics, the reason why you have anxiety disorder, or something that you dealt with when you were younger, or something that happened to you in your life, or even just your brain chemistry. Anxiety and depression is something that's serious and should not be taken very lightly. It doesn't mean that you're an outcast or that you're weird or you're different. You're just human, and it's okay to feel this way. But it's also good to get help that you need. Do not try to hide it or feel ashamed because you're going through this. Everyone has some type of fear. It has some type of worry at least once in their life. And if they don't, they're lying. So it's okay to feel this way, but it's also better for you to try to get help. Talk to somebody, to a friend, a counselor, a therapist, your doctor, most importantly, so you can get the help that you need and you can feel better. This now concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time.